There is a soft thunder that rolls beneath every calm spirit, a rhythm of restraint, a melody of maturity, and if you listen closely, you'll hear it whisper, "Know yourself, child," before the world tries to name you. You see, we walk through this world as unfinished poems, carrying memories in our marrow and questions stitched into our hearts. We are born with fire, but no map. We are handed emotions, but no compass, and so we stumble again and again, reacting, defending, lashing out as if the world owes us something for the wounds we never tended to. But let me tell you this, you cannot control the tongues of others, nor the tempers of strangers. You cannot rewrite the scripts playing in someone else's mind. What you can do is govern your own soul. You can learn to sit in the quiet room of your own spirit and ask, why did that shake me? Why did those words burn? Anger, dear one, is not always the enemy. Sometimes it is the flashlight in the attic, pointing to the things you've hidden, the things you've never healed. So don't curse the flame. Instead, follow it. Sit with it. Let it teach you where your walls are thin, where your roots need watering. Too often we blame the storm, but never examine the cracks in our own roof. Too often we say, they made me angry, as if we are puppets pulled by careless hands. No, beloved, they may light the match, but you decide whether to build a bonfire or blow it out. And here's the sacred truth. No one can steal your peace unless you hand it to them. Not the loud coworker, not the impatient driver, not even the one who broke your heart while smiling. Your peace is not in their pockets. It lives within the temple of your understanding. To master your emotions, you must first become a student of yourself. Know the roots of your rage. Name the ghosts that walk your mind at midnight. Sit with your sorrow until it teaches you its true name. For when you know yourself, truly know yourself, others lose their power to disturb you. People will talk. They will twist stories. They will throw shadows where your light used to shine. But if you are anchored, if you are rooted in your truth, they can only graze the surface. The waves may rise, but you will not drown. So take your time, learn your rhythm, trace the edges of your emotions like reading sacred scripture. Know where you end and where the world begins. That, my dear, is emotional mastery. And when you reach that place, when you walk into a room full of chaos and still carry peace like perfume on your skin, they will wonder what kind of magic you possess. But it won't be magic. It'll be you. Fully you. There are some things you must lay down if you're ever going to walk in peace. And one of them is the weight of other people's opinions. You see, every soul walks with a story, and not every chapter is a kind one. Some folks carry storms they've never spoken of, wounds wrapped in silence, regrets that keep them awake at night. They may smile in the daylight and bleed bitterness by twilight. And when they speak, it may not be truth. It may be pain disguised as pride. So when they raise their voice, when they ignore your kindness, when they belittle your light, remember this: it ain't about you. What they say, what they do, how they move in this world is not a mirror of your value, but a window into their own unrest. We are far too quick to take offense, to gather their projections like fallen leaves and carry them in our arms. But let me tell you, you are not a landfill for other people's brokenness. You are not the echo of their fears, nor the canvas for their unresolved rage. That belongs to them. That is their mountain to climb. Your worth was not built by their praise, and it will not crumble by their criticism. You are not their misunderstanding. You are not their unhealed trauma. You are not responsible for their storms. Let the rain fall where it may. Don't invite it into your house. So when someone lashes out at you, you have a choice. You can inhale their poison and wear it like perfume, or you can exhale grace and keep walking. You can argue for your innocence, or you can let your life speak louder than their lies, because you don't owe anyone an explanation for your peace, and not everyone deserves access to your joy. Hear me when I say what they call you has no power unless you answer to it. Some folks are loud because silence scares them. Others hurt because that's the only language they've ever learned. But you don't have to match their volume. You don't have to stoop to their storm. You can stay grounded, stay golden. For when you stop personalizing people's pain, you start protecting your purpose, and that is the true shift from reaction to wisdom, from offense to freedom. Let them speak, let them spiral, let them wrestle their own shadows. And while they do, you keep rising, keep blooming, keep loving without letting bitterness take root in your heart. Because the sun doesn't dim itself for the ones who cannot handle its light. And neither should you. So walk on, bold one, with your head high and your peace intact. For their behavior is not your burden. Their storm is not your sentence. There is a power that doesn't shout, a strength that doesn't strike, a wisdom that doesn't need to win the argument, to win the war. That power, that strength, that wisdom is silence. Not every moment calls for your voice, beloved. Not every accusation needs a reply. Not every insult deserves an audience. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing at all. You see, the world has taught us to respond quickly, to defend ourselves loudly, to fight for the last word like it's a prize. But the soul knows better. The soul knows that silence can split stone, that stillness can shake mountains, that sometimes silence speaks a language the world has forgotten how to hear. When someone comes at you with chaos, let them find nothing to push against. When they expect rage, give them restraint. When they throw words like weapons, let them fall to the ground untouched by your spirit. Because silence is not weakness, no. It is the armor of the mature, the language of the rooted. It is what happens when you've made peace with your worth and no longer need the noise to prove it. Even the wind learns to hush in the presence of the sacred. The wise understand this. Responding to everything drains your spirit. Constant reaction is a thief of your peace. And sometimes, in the middle of someone else's storm, your silence becomes your sanctuary. It protects your dignity. It keeps your crown from slipping. The greatest battles are often won in the heart, not the mouth. Let them wonder why you didn't clap back. Let them be confused by your calm. You don't owe anyone the pieces of yourself just because they're loud enough to demand them. There's a holy kind of silence, the kind that walks out of the room before the energy shifts, the kind that smiles without agreeing, the kind that knows, if I say it, I might win, but if I stay silent, I stay free. And yes, there will be times when you'll be tempted, times when injustice pokes at your pride, times when silence feels like surrender. But pause, dear one, breathe, remember who you are. You are not a flame to be lit by every spark, you are the whole fire. And fire doesn't chase matches. Use your silence wisely. Let it be intentional. Let it be sacred. Because silence is not empty. It is full of wisdom, full of restraint, full of power. And when the time is right, when your spirit is clear, your words will return. Sharper, truer, kinder, not to prove a point, but to preserve your peace. There are moments in life when a storm rises up out of nowhere. A harsh word, a reckless glance, a challenge that feels like a gauntlet thrown at your feet. And in that moment, the instinct is strong to pick it up, to engage, to defend your honor and prove your worth. But let me tell you this, just because they throw the first stone does not mean you must build a wall with it. You do not have to attend every argument you're invited to. You do not have to rise to every provocation. And you most certainly do not have to answer to every challenge that comes your way. You are not an animal to be tamed by every whip of insult or criticism. You are a soul on a journey, and your path is yours alone. You see, the world loves to fight. It thrives on drama, on division, on the constant clash of opinions. But you, beloved, are not of this world. You do not have to be swept away in the tides of conflict, nor pulled into the web of someone else's confusion. In the heat of the moment, when someone comes at you with anger or bitterness, remember that their storm is not yours to weather. Their fire is not yours to fight. When the winds howl and the voices grow loud, you can choose to stand still, to breathe, to remain rooted in the calm of your own spirit. And when they push, you can choose not to push back. When they challenge, you can choose not to engage. This is not weakness, no. This is strength. This is the power of discernment. It is knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. It is recognizing that some battles are not worth fighting and some arguments are beneath your dignity. Let them throw their stones, let them shout their truths into the wind. But know this, you are not obligated to pick up their anger. You are not bound by their need to fight. Just because someone challenges you does not mean you have to meet them at the same level. You can stand unshaken with your dignity intact. The truth is, many of the arguments we engage in are not truly about winning or losing. They are about proving something that doesn't need to be proved, about showing that we matter, that we are heard, that we are seen. But the moment you recognize that your worth is not up for debate, that no one has the power to define you, the less you'll feel compelled to fight. And remember, dear one, the greatest strength is found in knowing that you don't need the last word to be at peace. The last word, the last argument, the last victory, it all fades. But your peace, that stays with you. It is yours to protect. It is yours. So, next time you are faced with an argument, pause. Take a step back. Choose peace. Choose silence. Choose not to pick up the stone, for in doing so, you win the greatest victory of all, the victory of your own soul. There is a strength that does not roar, a power that does not need to prove itself in battle. It is the strength of grace, the quiet, enduring force that carries you above the fray and through the storm. Grace is not weakness, nor is it passivity. It is the deepest form of strength because it chooses peace over pride, healing over harm, love over retaliation. You see, when the world pushes against you, when the winds of life blow cold and harsh, it is easy to give in to the urge to fight back. It is easy to clench your fists and stand your ground with grit and force, as if that is the only way to stand tall. And yes, there is a time and place for grit. There are moments when we must dig deep, when we must dig in, when we must stand firm in the face of adversity. But remember this: grit without grace is a storm without a purpose. It will leave you exhausted, empty, and wounded. Grace, however, is the gentle strength that elevates you above the chaos of the moment. It is the ability to remain calm in the face of hostility, to show kindness when cruelty is expected, to offer forgiveness when anger is all around. Grace is not simply the absence of fury. It is the presence of wisdom, of self-restraint, of the understanding that sometimes the best way to handle a situation is to hold your peace. And when you choose grace over fury, you allow your soul to rise above the noise. You refuse to let the external world define your internal state. While others may burn with anger, you can remain cool as a mountain stream. While others may lash out, you can return kindness. And in doing so, you elevate yourself, not just above the chaos, but above the need to prove your worth with every argument, with every fight, with every word. Grace, dear one, does not bend under pressure. It does not crumble in the face of injustice. It is the silent strength that holds its ground when all else falters. And though it may not always be acknowledged, it is the power that sustains you through the hardest of trials. There will be moments when your emotions will push you toward fury, when your pride will demand retaliation. But let me remind you, you will never regret choosing grace over fury. You will never regret stepping back from the ledge of bitterness and choosing the higher ground of understanding. For in those moments, grace does not just preserve your peace, it grows it. It deepens your sense of self and teaches you that true power lies not in the ability to fight, but in the wisdom to choose your battles. The world may shout, it may throw stones, it may try to provoke your fury, but the soul that chooses grace stands unmoved, like an oak tree planted deep in the earth, standing tall despite the storm. So when life pushes you to the edge, when anger claws at your heart, remember this: Grace is greater than grit. It is the strength that keeps you from becoming the chaos you face. It is the strength that holds you even when everything else falls apart. And in choosing grace, you will always find the peace that cannot be shaken. Peace is not a destination, dear one. It is not a land you arrive at after a long journey, nor a place you visit when life becomes quiet. No, peace is a practice. It is a way of being, a choice you make every single day. It is the conscious decision to rise above the noise and the chaos, to turn toward the stillness within, even when the world outside feels like a storm. Much like water over fire, peace must be chosen. It must be poured over the flames of frustration, the heat of anger, and the burn of betrayal. It does not simply appear in moments of calm. It is cultivated, nurtured, and sustained in the moments when the world demands your reaction. In those moments when the world is loud and heavy, peace is the quiet voice within that says, I choose to stay centered. I choose to remain unshaken. And this is where many of us falter. We think peace will simply come to us once our lives are peaceful, once the noise is silenced. But that is not how it works. Peace is not the absence of conflict, it is the presence of understanding. It is not the absence of noise, it is the ability to hear your own voice amidst the clamor. The world will tell you that peace is something that will arrive when you reach the right place, the right time, the right people. It will tell you that peace is the result of external circumstances, but true peace, soul-deep peace, is cultivated from within. It is created in the stillness of your heart, in the quiet moments when no one else is watching. It is built on the foundation of your decisions, your responses, and your ability to remain grounded when everything around you trembles. You cannot wait for peace to find you. You must seek it each day like a gardener tending to their crops. You water it with patience. You nourish it with self-care. You prune it with wisdom, knowing that peace grows slowly, but it grows deeply. And with time, when you master this practice, peace becomes an unshakable part of who you are. It becomes like air, always there, always present, always available. And once you've truly mastered the practice of peace, there's no storm that can steal it from you. Not even the fiercest winds of life, not even the harshest criticisms or the most unexpected challenges. Peace, once cultivated, is an anchor that holds you steady through the wildest tempests. This is the gift of peace. It does not leave you when the storm comes. It does not abandon you when the world falls apart. It is the steady hand that guides you through the darkest days, the comforting presence that whispers, you are safe. You are whole. And as you practice peace, you will find that it does not just change how you react to the world, it changes how you experience it. You will begin to walk through life with a quiet confidence, unbothered by the petty distractions and trivial storms that used to pull you under. You will begin to move through the world as one who knows deep down that no external force can disturb the peace that resides in your soul. So remember, peace is a practice. It is a choice. And once you make it, once you commit to it with all your heart, you will find that nothing, not even the fiercest storm, can steal it from you. And so, my dear one, we come to the end of this journey, a journey that teaches us that peace is not a destination, but a practice, one that we must choose every single day. We've learned that silence holds power, that grace surpasses grit, and that we do not need to pick up every stone thrown our way. We have discovered that the storms of others are not our own, and that our worth cannot be shaken by their fury. But most importantly, we've learned that emotional mastery begins with knowing ourselves, and that we have the ability to govern our own soul no matter what the world throws at us. In this practice, in this unwavering peace, we stand tall and unshaken. So let us walk forward, knowing that no one can disturb the stillness within us unless we invite it.